What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to another episode of Respect the Game podcast. As always, we do not take y'all for granted coming back to listen to us. Gonna always have a great show in store for you. My name is Edward, raised by a Trello G and my pops. Shout out to my mother and my grandmother for helping raise me too. Please follow at EMAC Stats for all your up-to-date high school pro and collegiate pro sports coverage. Will not disappoint. We'll keep you up to date with all this going on. And like I said, man, we got a fire show ahead of us. And what is a podcast without your brother?
Hey man, Sean Horry is okay. He's made a good excellence at his finest. His Twitter, Instagram, Cash App, anything, man. Stolen.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. It is the one and only Sedacious Xavier Miles. And on behalf of me and my brothers, I want to say thank you so much for tuning in. Please remember that Respect the Game is now on all social media outlets. Let's go. Let's get it. Take it away, bro.
Yes, indeed. Black Peace, he's not in the building tonight, but make sure you go follow him and you make sure you go listen to his Talkin Smoke podcast. Latest episode talking about, I want to say, Lil Durk and or NBA Youngboy. Cool episode. Go check it out. Black Peace's Talkin Smoke podcast on Spotify or anywhere you get your dope podcast from. But nah, man, we couldn't do it, man. Kanye West. So Kanye West has been on a tirade. Don't believe it's out yet, but it's getting ready to be released sometime soon. I believe the Donda 2 album has that. He has the trilogy on Netflix, just document his career from where he started to where he is now. And now him and Kim Kardashian are legally divorced. And Kim is out here living her best life with Pete Davidson. We had a podcast before, we talking about Pete Davidson. Kanye has been doing his own thug thizzle at the same time. But Kanye is being Kanye. He's feeling some type of way about how his daughter is being used on social media, TikTok. He's putting out these PSAs basically saying, the world is against him, or, he isn't really having custody or being able to be in his child's life the way he would want. And then it doesn't also help when your ex-wife is, publicly out in the open with her new man, that being Pete Davidson for the time being. So what do you take from how Kanye has been, man?
Bro, the only thing that I hate about what Kanye is doing is that he runs to social media a lot. And I feel like when you do that, you make it more about your feelings and your attention. You want to be an attention whore versus what your issues actually are. If it's, custody or if it's parental decisions, you know what I'm saying? Like, people think that you just want to be seen when you run to social media with your issues versus just dealing with it, doing the best that you got to do to be in your daughter's life, no matter what the mom is putting you through. And I feel like since he knows he's Kanye, he's choosing to be petty. He's choosing, to fight that fight, not so respectfully, not so cordial. And, that's it. That's really my only disgust with it all, is that he runs to social media to put everybody else in his business when really he just needs to be doing what he got to do, not worried about his wife's boyfriend, just worried about him being in his kids' lives. And I feel like when you keep bringing up her boyfriend and stuff like that, bro, you making it about how you feel, like you being a sucker, bro. That ain't player. You know what I mean? So stop being a simp for social media and stop trying to want attention. You know what I mean? Just be a man like everybody else. And I ain't nobody to judge. It's just, that's just how it seems. Every time you run to social media, you seem like a little B. That's all I got.
I mean, it's obvious that he it's hurting out in the open. So, it's just a shame that he got the big platform that he does have in order to, convey those frustrations, to the public. But, you definitely gotta, have some type of, I feel like, dignity about yourself. Even if you do feel this way, you don't have to voice it, to the public. But I think Kanye is more strategic than we give him credit for. So it could just be, the name of the saying, any publicity is good publicity. So in the marketing world, so he does have a couple of new, ventures that are coming out as far as his platform and releasing Donda 2, and things like that. So it does probably serve him best to kind of be relevant within the news and to stay in the headlines, just so, from a business standpoint, he still can thrive. But I just think you got to get out his feelings within the public eye, man. That's never something I've really endorsed. You gotta do that shit in private, man.
Oh yeah, so him and Pete Davidson, it was put out on social media again, businessman put out there, but I believe this was from Pete Davidson's account. Pete reached out to Kanye, strictly respectful. Hey, bro, I know you got a problem with me. I can understand, but bro, like, stop slandering Kim. She's like a solid woman, as you should know, a great mother to your kids, as you should know. Let's me and you get together, talk it out and hash it out. Pete Davidson has put it out there on Front Street. He's dealt with mental health issues. He's had to go to rehab centers. He's had to, make sure he's gotten clean, eating and stuff like that. Basically exchanging the text, Kanye, look, I know you're going through a lot, bro. I know this mental health stuff is serious. Let me help you. Like, let's try to do this together as opposed to you trying to take shots at me. Pete Davidson, for a while, been quiet. He kind of been really hadn't been saying anything, just been letting Kanye pop off. Then you talk about the Easy video with the game and Kanye subliminally killing Pete Davidson and burying him and so on and so forth, and just all of that type of imagery, threatening somebody or whatever, whether you serious or not, Kanye, or whether that's art or not. Like, you can't threaten another man's life, like, point blank period, like, simple and plain. But Kanye has kind of like rebuked, I guess you could say, or rejected Pete Davidson's olive branch to be like, hey, bro, like, let's try to get on one accord and like kill all of this, like, because this ain't really what's hot amongst, like, out in the public amongst your ex-wife and amongst your kids or whatever. But Kanye ain't really on that. He's trying to like meet Pete Davidson out in the public at a Sunday service to maybe, like you said, Isaac, use publicity even more to, build up whatever he got going on. And so, yeah, Kanye is Kanye, nothing more, nothing less. So yeah. Moving on, man. Deshaun Watson. Definitely was happy to always rep him when he was a Houston Texan, but we know the next time he touches a football field, he will not be a Houston Texan. Deshaun Watson being charged for the 22 lawsuits, or 22 women lawsuits alleging sexual misconduct against them. It was said this past Friday, Deshaun Watson will not be charged in a criminal sense. So those criminal lawsuits will be dropped. However, you have to still move forward with the civil suits, and therefore, but Deshaun Watson, again, not being charged criminally for the alleged sexual misconduct lawsuits against him involving 22 women. With the criminal charge being off the table, he's now in the field, meeting with different players, meeting with different teams. Where do y'all see Deshaun Watson landing?
Well, I actually have a few spots that I wrote down where he possibly can go, where I feel like they need a quarterback. And that's off the top: Falcons, Panthers, Lions, Giants, Colts, and Dolphins. And if you give Jameis one more year in New Orleans and he don't do what they're predicting that he can do, then I can see him in New Orleans as well. So, there's opportunity for Deshaun Watson, especially somebody as good as him. He should end up somewhere, but he could possibly not end up anywhere, and we all know what that'll be. So I'm just gonna leave that there.
With all of his legal troubles being behind him, and I think the civil litigation may even be already have undergone or it may be underway already. I'm not particularly sure on that, but I could see Deshaun Watson easily, being on a team by the start of training camp or, before the season starts. Whether that's him taking over, leapfrogging Baker Mayfield, I like that situation in the AFC, and that just makes the AFC that much more exciting, especially, with the recent acquisition of Russell Wilson to the Broncos, and the AFC West being the wild, wild West now. I think it potentially be, it could be huge, man. I can see him going. I know the Pittsburgh Steelers just got Mitchell Trubisky. I don't know if they see him as a starter. God be with them if they do. But who knows? Maybe they can revitalize Mitchell Trubisky's career. I mean, I don't really see it, but if he doesn't go to the Browns, I could potentially see Deshaun Watson maybe going to the Saints, which is a good situation. I know there was some rumblings about him maybe going back to Atlanta, his hometown, but I'm not sure. And he's from a small town outside of Atlanta, about an hour outside of Atlanta, Georgia, if I'm not mistaken. But I think Gainesville.
That's an hour for you.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. I definitely see him on the team, but not really sure. Can't really pinpoint it, but I definitely see him potentially going to the AFC. It's a lot of AFC teams that want him.
I just hope he get a job.
I haven't seen much talks about it, and maybe because it may not be realistic. So I preface it by saying I don't know how realistic it is. The Cards, hot left there. I know right now it seems like they not really on the best of terms with Kyler Murray. I don't know if that's a contract extension or they just beefing for whatever reason, contract through the business. But what if something could happen and he end up with the Cards, man?
Yo, that'll be crazy. But Christian Kirk just went to the Jaguars for like $74 million or $84 million. He got paid. They don't really have as many weapons. I mean, they did. I believe they re-signed Ertz back. I mean, you got Hopkins. They do have Randall Moore, who I like a lot. You still have some pieces there. I think they re-signed James Conner to a long-term deal. Got rid of Chase Edmonds, unfortunately, but I don't know. That's something. I don't know, man. I don't think they'll do it. Kyler like that.
Oh no, dog. Yeah, man. It's just a thought that came to my mind. That's it, man.
He could be going to Miami too. It's still Miami still floating because the Dolphins seemed like they was trying to get him before everything went down.
I love him on the Browns, bro. If he can go to the Browns, you already got the best running game in the league. You give him Amari Cooper, and then they go out and get a receiver in the first round. I like that. I like that a lot. You got Njoku back.
Don't play the Browns.
He got released.
He got released this week.
Oof.
If I'm not mistaken, he got released this morning or yesterday morning.
Yeah.
Why would they do that? Okay.
Baker Mayfield running them boys up out of there, man. Come on, you got perennial Pro Bowlers on the wideouts, and within 1 year, both of them gone. You tell me who wrong.
Yeah, you tell me who's the common denominator.
Common denominator, you progressive commercial making.
Baker.
Crazy. Come on.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so all right. So if you're listening to this, you may or may not be into March Madness. You may or may not have created you a tournament bracket, not even just but several tournament brackets. We've gotten into, I myself have gotten into the betting space. I'm kind of excited to do some betting for college basketball, both male and female. I know for you, Sedacious, you ain't messing with it, not even a little bit. you don't trust them because they college kids or whatever the case may be. And this video I am about to play, I think it's probably the ultimate reason why Sedacious does not trust collegiate players in the tournament.
Cliff, what are you going to take away as your best memory from playing basketball at Boston College?
Probably just like going out to eat.
Right. So exactly. I can't. How am I supposed to put my money up against somebody who thinking about going out to eat? They're not even thinking about getting the dub. They're not thinking about clearing my 30-point spread. All they're thinking about is going out to eat, fam. I can't trust that. I need the person that's going out there that's got to earn a contract. They got to do what they got to do. That's what I need.
That's all. They steppers only.
Hey, okay, so there's a lot of things around there, right? So one of the things is that I think that should go into a little bit of betting. That should be like a little bit of like weight on there, right? If you're betting on a particular player, right? If that player is a senior, he leaving it all out there on the floor. So I think like you could think like, he can't afford not to have a great game or do what his averages are if he's a senior, right? Because they trying to go all out. So I think you can, to a degree, factor that into betting. That's one. Two, that dude that you just listened to, Dennis Clifford from Boston College. This is back in 2016 in the ACC tournament. They were 7-25 throughout the entire year.
That's ridiculous.
That was a record. It may still be a record in the ACC for most losses in a season. All right. So food probably was the only thing on fan mind. But with proper context, when you go through March Madness and different tournaments, whether you football or whatever, like that's just like with any family. Eating is like that's true to the spirit, to the heart. That's love, you know what I'm saying?
Good
Thanksgiving, gathering around food, fellowship. So that's the essence of what he was trying to get out. But his emotions everywhere, like all he could muster up was like going out to eat.
Right. You went 20. You went 27-5, 25-7, 7-25. What would you missing? Team chemistry? You ain't missing team chemistry. You ain't gonna miss team success going 7-25. All you gonna miss is going out to eat with Isaac them. That's all you gonna miss.
No, man. I completely understand it. I completely understand it. In that game that they lost 88-66. So it wasn't even close. Right? It wasn't a nail biter. In his defense, he did have 15 points. He did have 15 points and 9 rebounds in that game. So it's not like food was completely
Ain't going nowhere with me. Smoking the money like this.
Yeah, man. So on that senior year, he averaged 9.7 boards, 1 assist, 1 block, and in that final game of his collegiate career, 15 points, 9 rebounds. Now, here's the thing. There's another caveat to all of this. I don't know how true it is, and I don't know the timetable in which this happened, but it was also reported that the team was struggling due to food poisoning or food sickness.
They eat too much. Right.
The boy got a weight problem. Can't wait to eat.
7-25. We don't give a damn what our record is. They feed us.
Yeah, man. So when you're doing these bets, factor in if a player you're betting on is he a senior, and then after that, go Google, go look up their IG or their Twitter to see what they eat.
Please.
Oh man. But that was hysterical. When I see that, and I was just like, I can see why they should don't want to bet on college players. I completely understand. Yeah, man. But what Sedacious is willing to put money on is the NBA players, and for good reason, because the NBA has been going absolutely crazy. You get a 50 piece, you get a 50 piece, you get a 60 piece. Everybody gets a 50 piece in the NBA. All right. So we doing the episode Tuesday night, the day after Karl Anthony Towns just set a career high for himself, dropping 60 points against the San Antonio Spurs, 32 in the third quarter, I believe. One of those 32 points in the third quarter, 60 finished with 60 points overall, 17 rebounds to go with his 60 points. 60 points in any league is like, you know, a respectable feat. What do y'all take away from Cat's performance, and/or what other performance do you think thus far in the season, a 50-point performance in the NBA this year, is up there with Karl Anthony Towns' 60 piece?
Honestly, bro, I just want to say one thing, and Isaac can have. I'm sorry, Sean Hart can have the rest of it. I still think it sucks that LeBron at this stage, this late in his career, has to drag a team this way. I think it's unfair. Heavy is the head that wears the crown, yes, but it's too heavy. It's too heavy, guys. Like, especially with, I don't want to name drop, especially with the teammates around him. Y'all should be able to do way
You
better.
don't want to name drop. Name drop. What are you talking about? These niggas suck. Please drop
Right.
names.
I mean, Russ, AD, well, you know, he's hurt, but I could go for years about that. Kendrick Nunn, you know, he's hurt too. He's still ain't been. Russell Westbrook.
Let's stay on path though. With the 50 piece. So
right. So my thing is, I hate that LeBron has to do 50-point games for them to barely win these games. Still barely win these games.
Yes, I think it is an indictment on the general manager. No matter what LeBron James signed off on or okayed, like, this team is obviously old. They're brittle. They can't get up and down the floor. They can't defend anybody. They don't rebound at a high rate. They're in dire need of some infused youth, and they just don't have any of that. And they don't really have any draft capital to do too much. So they're gonna have to really look at free agency. And you know, this summer we're trying to orchestrate some trades and, you know, things of that nature to try to rebuild this team, because right now, LeBron won't see another championship with, you know, the way the Lakers are currently constructed. And a lot of that has to do with Anthony Davis not being available and not being healthy to be able to, you know, provide that effect that they really needed. But to answer Edward's question with the 50-pointers, man, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna go a bit of a recency bias right here, but right as we recorded this, or as we're recording this podcast, I mean, Kyrie Irving just hit a career high and a franchise record, you know, 60 points. So, I mean, that's something to be said when he just had 50, 5 days ago? 4 days ago? Like, literally,
Against Charlotte.
That's insane. And it's on some of the most efficient shooting that you ever want to see. He's just
15 of 19, 50-point game, 15 of 19 from the field, 11 to 13 from the free throw line, 50 points, 6 assists, three rebounds.
He hated Boston.
Oh, this was against Charlotte.
Nah, he didn't get Boston that.
No, I'm saying he hated me.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Nah, but he was hurt though too, so that's been a lot of Reed's trouble too. Because if he doesn't get hurt at 2015 finals, I strongly believe that LeBron has 5 championships right now instead of 4. But you never know. But I just feel like Kyrie Irving, man, just being a technician, a freaking just the most skilled player at his height ever in the NBA. And I don't know if Steph Curry is the same height as Kyrie, but if they are, I mean, this man, bro, Reed is a tactician, bro. It's unreal what he can do. Unstoppable, man. He can get anywhere he wants to on the court.
Another 50-point game that was a career high and a franchise record was set by Ja Morant, February 28. Ja dropped 52 against the Spurs on 22 of 30 from the field. So yeah, man, it was quite a bit of 50-point games this season so far. We haven't even we still got a month left. Let's see, you got Karl Anthony Towns, he had a 60 piece. Then you had Trae Young, he had a 56 piece this year. Jason Tatum has two 50-point games. He had 54 against the Nets, and then earlier in the year he dropped 51 against the Wizards. Stephen Curry got a 50-point game. Joel Embiid got a 50-point game. LeBron got the 56-point game, and then he backdoors that with a 50-point game. As of recently, Giannis got a 50-point game. Whoa, I ain't even catch this. I missed this. Jaylen Brown got a 50-point game. Celtics probably the only team with two players that have 50-point games on the team.
And I've been waiting for that boy J-Lo to get back on track, man.
Yeah, and I know he had been hurt, but his 50-point game was the top of the year, January 2nd, against the Orlando Magic, and we seen with Kyrie. So Orlando just giving away 50 balls.
I ain't gonna lie, Kyrie got his James Harden got his career high against the Magic as well. I think he got a 60-point triple-double against them.
Yeah, we talked about Kai having a 50-point game. Had the 50-point game against Charlotte, 60-point game tonight against the Magic. Make sure KD had a 50-point game against New York recently. Luka Doncic, he had a 50-point game against the Clippers. And yeah, man, there's 50 balls everywhere this season. 50 balls everywhere. But,
Pause.
Yeah, man.
I feel like Jason Tatum has been coming into his assassin persona lately, and it's good to see.
Izzo, I asked Davidson this before you had got on when we was prepping. Who would you put money on throughout the playoffs if you just had to pick a team? The Sixers or the Nets? If Kyrie could play home games. If Kyrie could play home.
The Nets, easy.
Okay.
Easy.
Okay.
We got two dudes over there that's gonna act up at all times. I knew KD wasn't gonna give people nothing today. I knew it was. I said, man, Reed, last time Kyrie played the Magic, he gave these people 43. Gave him that at halftime with 41.
At halftime. Disgusting, I tell you. Disgusting.
Wow. Insane. Absolutely insane.
Anything's possible.
All right, shout out to KG, man. He just got his jersey retired with the Boston Celtics. So yeah, man, shout out to KG, man. The big ticket. Beautiful people. That is what we call a wrap on this podcast. We dearly, as always, man, we don't take it for granted, man. Thank y'all for listening. Please go into the comments on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and do the review, give us some stars so we could get some traction, continue to get in people's ecosystem of however they listen to podcasts. And we're going to continue to give you great podcast episodes, great content, man. Love you, beautiful people. And we will see you next week.